Welcome back to another episode of Welcome Back Comics videos of What Did We Buy Recently. Today we're going to talk a little bit about two weekend trips I went on. One was to a yard sale. Not super exciting, just as an FYI. This is all I brought back from there, and none of them are terribly exciting books. And then I went to another local Virginia Fire Hall show. More exciting stuff. It's probably just not easy to see, but almost half a short box, and there's a little stack of other stuff here that I'll go through at the end. Worth sticking around to see what I got at the end. Everything at the comic book show this morning was 50 cents. Two different dealers had 50-cent books, and I got some really good deals in there that I'll showcase at the end. Just real quickly, some of you may see a guy named Longbox Love Affair who has videos on YouTube as well. As I'm pulling up to the yard sale, I see a car pulling in front of me. He and I know each other a little bit. We both live in D.C. And based on his car, I was like, I bet that's who this is. And sure enough, he got there right at the same time I did. We were both very cordial. There were only two small bins of comics. I took one, he took one, and then we switched. And we both compared notes afterwards, and I think it was a pretty even split. So I bought 8 books for $10, so a little bit over $1 a piece, not too much. A few of them just set completers. Again, I'm not going to go through them in real detail. The Storm miniseries, completing the Fatal Attractions X-Men run, and then a couple of amalgam books that are always good to find. So again, nothing super exciting there, but relatively cheap to fill in some sets. I'm kind of a sucker for older trade paperbacks. So this is, I think, the second printing of the 80s Fantastic Four versus X-Men. It's got a $14.95 cover. We'll probably sell it for half that. So it was worth picking up, and I just think they're fun because this was before trade paperbacks were such a big thing and before they were writing for trade paperbacks in the comics. So it's kind of cool to see that, and the cover art is just completely different than the interior art of the series, which looks more like that. Green Lantern Silver Surfer, throw in a $5 box. And then the sort of only kind of find is, especially in the conditions in maybe like a $10 book, of the What If Silver Surfer Possessed the Infinity Gauntlet. I thought that was a decent pickup. Was happy to find it and justified, spending a little over $1 on the other books. In case you're wondering, and Longbox Love Affair may have already done a video about this, but the only thing he picked up that was particularly good in his haul was a Infinity Gauntlet #1. So it would have been nice to have, gotten there 5 minutes earlier and beat him to both boxes, but, happy to share a little bit. So most of this box from the show today, like I said, everything was 50 cents. Most of it is set completer stuff or set starters. I'll just run through a couple quick. There's nothing super exciting here. These are the last 2 Hitmans we needed, so I was really excited to find those just to finish that set off. And again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Anything you see here, if you're interested in it, hit us up at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com or ping us on Facebook. We are Welcome Back Comics on Facebook. We're always buying collections, and we're always happy to sell the stuff. Most of the stuff we pick up here is for resale. I'll show you some things that I'm keeping for myself. These were a couple of books just to pick up for fun. The JSA, the Black Rain storyline, I don't think it's going to be anything, but with Black Adam picking up some heat, Hawkman and Atom Smasher both being in that show or in that movie, I thought a couple covers that highlight those folks might be worth investing 50 cents in. Finishing off Earth X, got a Green Lantern book that helps us finish off that run. Bunch of Blackest Night, which I was very excited to find. So these are all Blackest Night, and these are all Blackest Night. I think 1, 2, 3. This is so exciting for you all. I'm going to find out if we got a complete set here or not. 5, 6. Nope, we're missing number 7. But other than that, got almost complete Blackest Night run and a couple of additional ones. So again, that's a great set for us. People are always looking for that. So anytime I see it for even $1, I'll pick them up. But certainly at 50 cents, it's a no-brainer. These are 2 I'm keeping for myself. Pretty ratty condition, but as folks know who've been watching the videos, I've been into the Defenders lately, mainly through listening to the podcast Defenders Dialogue. So I'm always happy to pick up some, kind of bronze and copper Defenders books that I don't already have cheap just to read. So I don't really care too much about condition. Excited to find one of the Who's Who books that completes one run of that. We still need about 2 or 3 more to finish another run, but it's always good to find those. And similarly, I won't go through all of them, but I found some of the older official handbook of the Marvel Universe, as well as the deluxe edition from the 80s or later in the 80s. At 50 cents, that's great, and it helps us complete some runs. For those of you really in nostalgia for the 90s, finished off a Reign of the Supermen run, I'll show you a couple more of those later. Again, not super exciting books, but happy to get them. Found a bunch of amalgams for 50 cents a piece. Again, not super exciting, but great to complete that run. And we're just shy of completing a couple. So I think that helped us finish off 2 or 3 runs of that. So if you're looking for amalgams, hit us up. All-Star Batman and Robin, almost finished with that. Again, a couple more Defenders that I don't think I have. And again, at 50 cents, I don't really care if I bought a double. We'll throw them in a dollar box and sell them. We also picked up the last issue of Hitman. We don't need it for our set, but I like to pick up last issues of books. Sometimes they're good to throw in throw in a $5 section, because often by the time a book wears down, the print runs are lower and those last couple issues are hard to find. Found most of the Infinity miniseries. So again, at 50 cents, I'll start building that again. Normally, for sets like that, which aren't as hot as they used to be, if they're $1 or $2 each, I won't start a set, but I'll buy the issue or 2 to finish them off. But at 50 cents a piece, it's worth starting over from scratch even. Mentioned some of the deluxe official Marvel handbook as well as some of the older ones in there. Again, some of these we need to complete a set. Some I'm just buying because they were 50 cents and I'll take on the next run. I like to do random spec books. Sometimes there's no heat behind these that I know of, so don't go out and rush to buy these. But I know there is supposed to be a new Gods movie coming out at some point, so I bought, a #1 issue of Orion. It's not his first appearance. It's not a significant issue, but if the movie takes off and people start to have interest in Orion, that's a good sort of $5 book. Similarly, JSA is getting some play because of the Black Adam movie, so I picked up a couple copies of JSA #1. That book used to be hot, like way back in the day, talking like 10, 15 years ago. I don't think anybody cares about it too much anymore, but for 50 cents, I'll take a gamble. And worst case scenario, we throw it in a dollar box. Same thing with, again, another last issue of JSA. So I like to pick up those last issues. Last few books here, and then I'll get into the good stuff that I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Last couple that finished off the Reign of the Superman run. I know I promised you that would be finished. So again, if you're interested in finding the Reign of Superman complete, let us know. This one's for me, Son of Satan. Again, sort of an offshoot of my interest in the Defenders. Squadron Supreme, trying to finish off that run as well. Got a few of the DC Marvel Comics access as well as unlimited access. So again, anytime picking those up at 50 cents to start building sets of those, it's great. I should also mention, and I should have said this earlier, all these things for the most part that are completing sets will be available at our October 17th sale that we'll be doing at the Berlin Farmers Market in New Jersey. Again, check us out on Facebook for details, but come find us there. It's a great sale, and there's lots of great deals to be found, including a lot of the stuff you're seeing here. Finished off the Final Crisis set with this one. And then I did mention amalgams, and then I only showed you 2 or 3. Here's the sort of mother load of amalgams. These are all different amalgam titles, 2 or 3 of some issues. I'm particularly excited that there are 3 copies of Iron Lantern. Not because that's a book that anybody necessarily cares about, but for whatever sets of reasons, we are missing Iron Lantern for 3 sets that we're trying to complete right now. So that knocks out 3 new amalgam sets that'll be available for y'all whenever you want them. Same, got a couple Secret Invasions to finish off that set. Still picking up Jane Foster Thors when I see them cheap, just in the advance of her movie coming out. I mentioned unlimited access, got a couple of those, and then finally one last Who's Who. That's I don't even want to call them junk books, but those are the set completers and set fillers and set builders for us. Now for the stuff that might have some heat to it, or definitely has some heat to it. In no particular order, although perhaps I'll be a little bit selective about showing. So again, simply because Atom Smasher is going to be in the upcoming Black Adam movie, this is a great Alex Ross cover. Same thing with this cover of Cyclone. So Cyclone's first appearance is in this version of Justice Society of America #1. That book has taken off. It's got a little bit of heat. I think it's at about maybe $20 or $25 if it's still up there. I haven't checked in a while. And that #3, because she's on the cover of it, was up to like a $10 or $15 book for a while. So again, happy to pick those up. Just, even if they end up in a $5 section, that's cool. I have no idea whatsoever if I did good on this or not. I think I remember seeing something that The Legend of Korra had a little bit of heat behind it this free comic book day. It's got a little ding in the corner, and somebody did put a sticker on it. But again, 50 cents. Honestly, I love the whole Avatar universe. I think Avatar: Last Airbender was one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Korra was great too. So honestly, if I just pick this up for 50 cents and end up keeping it, I'm not mad. But if it's worth a little something, we'll probably resell it. Again, kind of going more into the spec arena, knowing that She-Hulk's got a show coming out soon. Picked up a #1 from this series with that. No reason to think it's anything big, but just because there's a show coming out, I figured it was worth doing. Got a few. This is, I believe there's a cameo of New Warriors at the end of this one, that they make their first appearance, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe not at the end, maybe somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Thought I was right. Don't really care that much. It was a 50-cent book, but I'm fairly certain this is supposed to be the cameo of the New Warriors, so I picked it up for 50 cents. Obviously, there's been a lot of chatter lately about the fact that Sentry might be the null or void. I don't know what's going on, honestly. I'm not reading the books. But picked up this Sentry miniseries, not all of it, and I'm just noticing now some of these are particularly mangled. You can even see that with the light hitting it right. But was in a rush, was just trying to pull books, and for 50 cents, I'm not checking everything with a fine-tooth comb. But the #1 from the series is actually in pretty good shape. So, picked up a few Sentries. More exciting than that is I picked up a bunch of Sentries from the current run, which is really where the interest is. So my understanding of this, and I'm not an expert yet, 1, 2, and 3, maybe not that hot right now, but when you get to 4 and 5, and I was able to find 2 issues of both of those, although the 4 is the Cosmic Ghost Rider variant. These books are where, I guess, the Void and Sentry merge, and there's some thought that they become this God of Light in this Null storyline. So there's a lot of heat behind these books now. I think this one's going for maybe like 15, 20. This is more in the sort of 25 to 30 range. So super excited to pick these up, again, for 50 cents a piece. You never know what you're going to find. You never know where some dealers are going to be a little bit, behind the curve on new information, and you'll pick up a really phenomenal deal. Even better than that, and I'll do these in reverse order and just show them and then talk about them. #4, #2, and the second print of Shuri #1, which for some reason, and I'm not familiar with why, the second print is worth more than the first print. This book right now is going on eBay anywhere from like 50 to 80 bucks. The #2 is going for 15 or so, maybe 20, and I'm not sure about the #4. So that was phenomenal just to see those, and obviously a lot of that is fueled by the fact that Shuri is going to be, or is rumored to be, the next Black Panther in the next Black Panther movie after the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. So super exciting to find these books, especially at the price point we did. So again, I'll make a plug. If you're interested in any of these books, hit us up at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. Or if you're in the greater New Jersey area, these books, particularly these price books that I flagged at the end, will be making their debut at that sale. I'm pretty certain they'll be gone quickly. So be there on October 17th at 8 a.m. when we open. And yeah, that's it. That's what we found today. But again, never hurts to go digging in 50-cent books because you never know what you're going to find. See you soon.